We are feared by humans and called monsters, and that may be the truth, but there is a reason why we are what we are. Humans hunt us because of their fear of our outward appearance. They say we are a threat to them. They kill our offspring and burn our homes, and for that reason, we will hunt and attack them. We will tear the flesh off their bones bit by bit and listen to their screams, but there is one thing we will never do, and that is harm an innocent, defenseless infant human. My name is Patch. I am 9 years old. I was taken into foster care when I was just 3 years old. My foster parents named me Patch because I had lost a lot of my hair when a fire destroyed our home and my parents died. My foster parents were cruel. They locked me in a closet, beat me to a pulp, and sent me to bed many a night without food. My bed had only a sheet and a pillow. The mattress was made of straw and the bumps dug into my bones. I could hardly sleep, it was so uncomfortable. One day, as the dim-wits, that's what I called my foster parents, were out back, I quickly ran to the kitchen, stole 2 apples, grabbed my beloved pillow, and stumbled into the woods. No one saw me leave. Exhausted and afraid, I stumbled across a small clearing with tangled roots from an old oak tree and collapsed onto the forest floor, my small frame trembling with fear. Tears streaked my dirt-stained cheeks as I sought refuge from a world that had shown me nothing but pain. With glowing red eyes and fur as black as coal, a dogman prowled the shadows with silent grace. The dogman sensed a presence unlike any other. Following a faint sound that echoed through the trees, it discovered a small child nestled among the roots of an old oak tree. I felt a gentle nudge of a furry snout against my hand. Startled, I looked up to see a pair of red eyes gazing at me. I jumped up and pressed my back against the bark of the tree as hard as I could. Was I going to be breakfast? I thought to myself as panic sent bile up my throat. My eyes, wide with wonder and innocence, met those of the mighty dogman, but his eyes softened and he stretched out his hand towards me. I reached out a trembling hand towards the towering figure, and suddenly I felt unafraid. In that moment, a silent understanding passed between us, a bond forged by loneliness and resilience. We walked through the forest in silence, dodging branches and thorns. The creature led the way while I clung to his hand, afraid to be left behind. We arrived at the opening to a cave when the creature let go of my hand, turned and picked me up. My fingers locked in his fur. I was holding on for dear life. He walked inside and my breath caught in my throat. Hundreds of the same creatures, big and small, were seated or standing in the cave. Silence fell as the creature put me down. 1,000 red eyes turned to look at me. A cub came running on 2 legs towards us. He poked his finger on my arm, a sharp nail breaking my skin. Blood seeped and dripped to the floor. The cub bent his head and bit into my arm. I shrieked in pain and Fenrir backhanded the cub and sent him flying across the cave. The cub howled, sat up and glared at me with hatred in its eyes. I cower behind Fenrir, holding on to his leg. Suddenly a burst of noise filled the cave. All the creatures spoke at once. Fenrir hushed them, and I assumed he explained how he came across me. Weeks and months passed. I lived in the cave with the creatures I now know are called Dogman. I've learned some of their language, and I have taught them some of mine by using gestures and saying the words. The Dogman taught me to hunt, to skin an animal, and to eat it with my hands. They showed me where to find water, how to set traps, and how they relax. One night, a few years later, I was sitting under the stars with Fenrir, and I asked him, "What exactly are you? Why are humans so afraid of you?" This is his story. I am a dogman, as the humans have dubbed me, and I prowl and attack for survival. My pack call me Fenrir. For centuries, tales of my cruelty had spread like wildfire among the humans, painting me as a merciless predator, a creature of nightmares. And yet they knew nothing of the truth that drove me to hunt. Humans had encroached upon our territory, their cities spreading like a disease, devouring the land and driving my kin to the brink of extinction. In their blind pursuit of progress, they had forgotten the ancient pact between our kind and theirs. And so, I hunted. The scent of fear hung heavy in the air as I stalked my prey, my senses honed to a razor's edge. Each footfall was silent, each movement calculated as I closed in on my unsuspecting quarry. Humans were easy prey, their frail forms no match for my strength and cunning. But it was not just the thrill of the chase that drove me onward. It was the taste of vengeance, the sweet satisfaction of reclaiming what had been stolen from us. And so I struck with savage precision, my claws rending flesh and bone as I claimed my prize. The terror I inflicted upon my victims was a symphony of screams and anguish, a primal chorus that echoed through the night. For in their eyes I saw the reflection of their own savagery, the darkness that lurked within their souls. They called me a monster, but in truth it was they who were the true monsters. But even as I reveled in their fear, I knew that my kind faced a threat far greater than any human could ever pose. They wielded weapons of iron and fire, their technology far surpassing our own. And so we lived in constant fear of their wrath, always watching, always waiting for the inevitable retaliation. To survive in this world of shadows and bloodshed, we relied on our instincts, our primal senses honed over countless generations. We moved like ghosts through the forest, our forms blending seamlessly with the darkness, our howls echoing through the night as a warning to all who dared to trespass upon our domain. But even the most cunning predator can be brought down by the relentless march of progress. And so we adapted, we evolved, finding new ways to outwit our human adversaries and protect the sanctity of our home. Fenrir looked up and gazed at the moon, then continued. I knew that the struggle was far from over, for as long as humans roamed the earth we would be hunted, vilified as monsters and demons. But we would not go quietly into the night. We would fight tooth and claw to preserve our way of life, to reclaim what was rightfully ours. For we were the guardians of the wild, the defenders of the ancient pact, and we would never surrender to the darkness that threatened to consume us. When next any of us humans encounter a dogman, approach with caution. Better yet, keep your distance. The dogman's hate for humans is real, the vengeance is real, their pain is real, just as the humans' fear and misunderstanding of dogman is real. All I know is I was raised by a dogman. Without their intervention, who knows, I might be dead today.